This movie, I was just like, wow, Ridley Scott kind of ripped this movie off. Slaves fighting for their freedom and stuff.
Well, you could even go back further to like Spartacus.
Right, that's
This
a
is
good point.
essentially
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
the more female driven. This is a total knockoff of Spartacus,
Yeah.
but with this female kind of, it's a. I don't know if you would call it femsploitation.
Plot wise, yes, but it is definitely filmed with for the male gaze.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Hello, YouTube. It's Drive By Movies with another episode of Direct to Dumpster. My name is James.
My name is Blaze.
And this week we are reviewing the 1974 film The Arena and telling you why it should be out of the dumpster, or should we just leave it in there? So this movie is directed by Steve Carver. Do you know who Steve Carver is?
I actually don't, so I'm hoping you can drop some knowledge on me.
Well, just like digging through, like doing our normal detective work, and this movie is actually pretty much directed by Joe D'Amato. Oh, Joe D'Amato, that name sounds very
Joe
familiar.
D'Amato. I hear he's a purveyor of taste and films.
Yeah, and films that we've watched here on the show. You might have remembered Endgame. The big Marvel movie that's out in theaters right now. No, just kidding. Endgame was a Joe D'Amato film that we checked out a couple weeks back. It was an interesting sci-fi thriller. It wasn't one that we're really all that into, but he's actually the true director of this Roger Corman produced movie, which I thought was pretty interesting.
So you're saying that Corman, trusts Joe D'Amato with his film or possibly his life?
Pretty much. Poor Carver was just like, you could direct the dialogue scenes. You can have the name on as director credit, but apparently he just did not trust him. Like, there might be more to the story, but this is just like the facts that I was reading up on, and I just thought that was hilarious.
And if you don't know like anything about New World Pictures or Roger Corman, The Arena, it's from 1974. It is a New World Pictures film, which is Roger Corman's company. Roger Corman is most notoriously known for, giving a lot of big directors their first shot. Like he gave countless directors their first film.
So this movie stars Pam Grier and Margaret Markov. Pam Grier is known for, of course, Coffee.
My name's Coffin.
Coffee, black and stacked and packed with fury.
A movie I have not seen, but have you checked it out?
Yeah, of course. Coffee's, a great blaxploitation, female-driven film. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend checking that out.
Cool. Right on. This movie, I was just like, wow, Ridley Scott kind of ripped this movie off. Slaves fighting for their freedom and stuff.
Well, you could even go back further to like Spartacus. This is essentially the more female-driven. This is a total knockoff of Spartacus, but with this female kind of, I don't know if you would call it femsploitation.
Plot wise, yes, but it is definitely filmed with for the male gaze.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. What is it? So it's a male exploitation film, but plot it's female exploitation.
Yeah, I was explaining it to my friend also, and just like showing like how this story's like, wow, that sounds feminist. Like, not really, but like if you watch it, you'd be like, what the fuck is up with these shots? But yeah,
I have to say, like, for a Roger Corman movie, he's notorious for reusing a lot of scenes, a lot of sequences. He's notorious for throw some boobs in it. Like there are some very Roger Cormanisms that you can see if you've watched some of his movies before. Yeah. But I would say that he did a good job with this one. And I felt like the budget seemed a little bigger than it was.
Yeah. It was, I mean, of course, like it has that low budget feel, but I was never like questioning it. And like, it was like, really well put together. The production design was really great, I thought. All the costumes, of course, you can see like the forks are like, or not the forks, sorry, the swords are flimsy and everything, but
the forks,
but like they did a great job with the sound, like like the clinks of making the sword sound like it was a real sword, and just like I said, the production design's really good, the costumes were pretty good, and the music was a little over the top at times.
Yeah, I think that was one of the only really major things that it didn't like bug me, but it was just too on the nose. Like it was just your typical, when like directing short films or whatever, and you go looking for a composer, or like student films you watch and there's a composer and it just sounds like they did the whole thing on their computer, emulating, like a great soundtrack. This was like that soundtrack that student films are like trying to emulate, where it's just so over the top, so on the nose that a lot of the scenes weren't able to like live and breathe, and they just didn't feel as real with the sounds being so bombastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Lydia! Let her be. She's one of us.
Another fun fact, direct-to-dumpster movies, like they just like we're re-seeing directors, as you can see.
Joe D'Amato.
Director now, Frank Garofalo. Saw him in Hell of the Living Dead, or AKA Night of the Zombies, and he was the psycho guy in that movie, and just like here in this movie, we're just like, what the fuck? He's got a very small role in this one, but
yeah, I definitely recognize him though. They do a lot of like extreme close-ups on him. He does have a good look, and like also seeing him in the film, like, oh, this is definitely shot in Italy. Like, we know that Joe D'Amato directed it, so like they have like a lot of those Italian connections there. This is an Italian sword and sandals movie, and I liked his character, the total psycho man, Santoro in Hell of the Living Dead. But seeing him in this, he has a pretty epic scene, and kind of starts the film on the send off there.
Right. So we keep bringing up Joe D'Amato with this movie though, and what he directed. He for sure directed all the action sequences of this movie, and I thought like that's a good segue into the cinematography of this movie. Like even during the sex scenes, I thought were like kind of cool. There's just a lot of zoom ins and zoom outs, and just that was kind of cool, I thought.
And being from 1974, like zoom ins for some reason on that film, like you see the grain, like zoom ins just give it this 70s feel, or reminds me of like the French Connection, like the action scenes in there where the camera's zooming under bridges and stuff. Like so I can see that. It's on a budget though, but I can see it.
Yeah, and today's modern action movies, like it was always people associate old movies with like kind of looking terrible, like the fight sequences, it's all choreographed, but it's super slow and everything. But nowadays, like there's like a lot of fast cuts and stuff, or it's extremely close to where you don't see what's going on. That's where I felt like this was like kind of smart, to where it did feel like an actual action sequence, like seeing them zoom in like and out every once in a while. It just made it feel fast, and I guarantee that was like part of the intention also, because it didn't feel like those old 60s or 70s movies. Like I love Jason the Argonauts, but the sword fights in those movies are cheesy. It's just people going like, and stuff.
It's like an action figure.
Yeah, it's really dorky. But here, like they're doing that same thing, but just the quick cuts and the way Joe D'Amato shot this movie, like it looked pretty good, and like not good compared to today's standards, but they were using today's tactics, I felt like, at an early age.
So something I kind of want to bring up about one of the things I really enjoyed in the movie was that juxtaposition between the two slave characters that start this rebellion, Margaret Markov and Pam Grier. I just thought seeing them together, like staging the rebellion, like it made me feel, that female power versus these male elites, like the aristocracy. Just don't want to see those guys prevail here. And it's fun to see them when they actually get what they deserve. So
the end was very satisfying. I felt like seeing the women, they're fighting for their lives and stuff, and like it's for their entertainment, but they're not even paying attention. They're all just partying and trying to flirt with the woman that they're around and stuff, and like not watching, and just seeing her just like rebel, like, no, I'm not gonna fucking kill her and stuff. We're gonna fight against. And seeing the guys like even team up with them too and stuff. It was just a cool scene, I thought.
Honestly, it reminds me a lot of modern day. I think there's a lot of modern things in this movie. It reminds me of like these big budget spectacle movies and the people's short attention spans that are willing to engage in watching those movies. They can't look away from their phone for 10 seconds, but yet they want to go see Thanos destroy a whole world, where these aristocrats are, trying to flirt with girls next to them while people are giving up their whole lives, setting them inside, the Dome of the Gladiators. So
hold on, I got a text. Let me check it really quick.
Oh, fucking killed me just now. Thanks. All right. Anyways, so that was a good joke, but yeah, exactly kind of what I'm saying though. I think, there are some semblances of, the reality in which we live in, like there, and there are some metaphors that still translate to this day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, this is a struggle that people have dealt with
Mm-hmm.
for all of humanity.
Right.
But when it comes to the arena, I think it's a pretty well-crafted film. It is just a Spartacus ripoff. If you're looking at Roger Corman, this is what he does. He takes like a fashionable movie, movie that was really good, and takes it and just shrinks it down as much as possible. And that's how you get the arena. You take Spartacus, bring it all the way down.
Yeah.
And, you know, the arena does stand on its own today. I don't think the same would have been said like for that time that in which it came out in 1974.
Yeah.
But it's a drive-in movie.
That's
what they made. You know, the New World Pictures makes drive-in movies, and I think that nowadays it's actually pretty fun to watch. So I would recommend people checking it out.
Yeah, this is a good one. I thought like check it on Amazon Prime, like most of the movies we've reviewed on here. But yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. I'd say if you find it in a dumpster, take it out of there. It's a good one, I thought.
So that's going to close us out for today, guys. This is Direct to Dumpster. Go ahead and subscribe to check out all the latest videos that come out each week, and hit that notification button to join the notification squad. You'll be getting a notification every time that we come out with a brand new video. Spoiler alert, it's Thursdays. Anyways, guys, drive by movies. See you guys next week.